and welcome to AstroPM. In this tutorial, we're going to walk through our framing and Skyview system. The Skyview system is just a basic planetary planning system that lets you see the sky. I think everybody's used to seeing this, but we have some really neat features in here that might be kind of hidden that we'd like to show you how this ties into our program and how you build a project based on our Skyview system. First off, just walking through the interface a little bit and some of the basics. Of course, you can input locations up here and it will give you some of the basic catalogs. It's important that we have a location, scope, and camera. All of this is going to be fed from our equipment library, so that was always one of the first steps you should do when you start using AstroPM. We also have field of view information over here, which is rotational stuff, as well as mosaic paneling. So you can increase or build mosaics depending on what you want to plan for your project. All of this is going to get fed over to your project when you click Start New Project. Now, you can also load this to Stellarium if you want to. So that part is pretty basic. A couple of hidden features here I want to show people. One of them I thought was important for me anyway was the ability to load a custom horizon. Everybody has different trees and different buildings in their backyard or their remote locations, so I thought it was important to see when targets are actually leaving a certain, obstacle. And so this gives you an easy way to load a background. If you hover over this little button right here next to location, you can load a 2048 by 1024 PNG panoramic 360-degree view with the sky being transparent. So your smartphone will do this. You can just go out with a smartphone, take a 360-degree panoramic view of your location or your backyard. You can put it into Photoshop, make sure it's that dimension and a PNG, and then just delete the sky, and you can load that file here, and that's your custom backyard. And the other feature you can do here is you can custom rotate this background, so you don't have to worry about where it is. You can do that through here. You can also raise it up and down, and so you get the right location for your 360-degree panoramic. And you can also change the darkness of it. Of course, this is optional. If you want to use just our desert default horizon, you can. So let's take a look at some other features in here. Of course, we have all these target designations. These are basic catalogs. You can see those catalogs over here. You can turn them on or off depending on what you want to see. They can get really messy and a lot of information. And you want to turn on supernovas, the Bernard catalog. Of course, let's take a look at this section. It just can get really overwhelming with targets. And so I have a way to filter them here. You come over to filters and you can turn them down or up, and that will kind of increase or decrease the thickness of all your catalogs. Okay, so those are pretty standard. I think every planetarium usually has that information. The other thing you can do is you can rotate through the night. So as you rotate, you move this bottom slider, you can kind of see where you are in respect to the evening sky. And this is all built based on your location. And it will also give you the moon altitude down here. You can see where the moon is at, as well as the height of your current location. So as I come up here higher in the sky, and as I move back, let's say towards midnight, okay, and we hit these areas, we can see our target area is kind of increasing and going over our red line. This red line is based on an altitude you set here. And so you might say, I only want to shoot things over 30 degrees. That's pretty popular. Or maybe you only want to shoot over something that's over 25 degrees. You'll notice that red line moves up and down based on this slider. Okay, that's your max altitude. Now, another really interesting feature, and let me turn off a bunch of these catalogs because it gets really messy. I'll just leave popular catalogs on. Popular catalogs is nice. It's got all the names. And you, of course, you can turn the names on and off of these if you want to free up some space on the screen. One thing I've always wanted to be able to do is look at the sky and say, where should I be targeting tonight? And so I created a heat map feature. And you can see red and green zones, red being something that's below my altitude. That is below 30, and so I shouldn't be really shooting in that area. Um, Also, as I move around, you'll notice I get over here towards the north and towards Polaris. Okay. Um, you can see where the green zone is in the sky, and that is going to hold and host the darkest skies, the longest time of darkness throughout the night. And we can move this around our timer, and we can see how that works. As I move towards the evening sunset here, you can see that this side over here I shouldn't be targeting because it's going to set soon. So I really shouldn't shoot there. I can, but I'll only get a few hours. Okay, if I shoot in that green zone, I'm going to be able to shoot there all night long, all the way till sunset. And so that's what the heat map does. I think it's a really useful feature. I really like that. I think a lot of people will like that. And if I move my horizon, maybe I can shoot to 10 degrees. You can see that heat map is going to expand. And if I only want to shoot above 40, you can see it gets really narrow in terms of my zone. It's a small window. Everything else is going to be fairly red. So I think that's helpful in planning. I really do like that heat map. Another feature I really liked, and I haven't seen this in a lot of planetariums, is I want to be able to see what I've imaged in the past easily. And so and this will happen as you build the complete library in the tool, but I want to be able to turn on my completed projects at this point, and I can see what I've imaged in the night sky, and you can see those coming on and off. I can also turn on my active projects, and I can see what am I actively shooting over here. And you can see those are in the green zone and they're in blue. And so these are all the targets. Of course, I like to shoot in the Milky Way region. I'll turn off the heat map there. I'll turn off some of these targets so you can see it a little better. But I think that's a really neat feature, and I just haven't seen that in a lot of planetariums. I want to be able to keep a record and a catalog of all my completed projects, and so there they are. And so if I want to start shooting at some other new regions, I might do that. Of course, this will get bigger as you build your catalog of projects throughout. So another feature, just something I thought I would point out here. Obviously, you can let's turn on popular targets, and you can shut the names on and off to build a little room. But you'll also notice we have angular size circles, and they auto hide at 25 degrees. So when you're really wide view like this, those aren't there. But as you zoom in, you will start to see all of the imaging angular size circles, which is handy as you get into really kind of precise looking around. You're kind of looking what's there type of situation. So that's what's happening with those. Now, a lot of times too, you click on an object and you're kind of like, well, I don't really know what that is. So you can click on any target, and this is Wolf-Rayet 136. You can come up here to the top and you can view it on the web, or you can view it on AstroPM or on Simbet. And I like to click on the AstroPM one because it gives me what other astrophotographers have done with the image. And it pulls up that target. I can see exactly what it is, and I'm like, oh, I see that all the time. So that's a handy little tool to use. I might click on this soap bubble nebula, click on AstroPM, and it'll pull up all the images that are based on that target. Gives you an idea of what you're going for, what you're looking for, and you can do a little bit of research off of that as well. Just kind of another little feature. Sometimes you want to just search the web for that, so you can, and it'll give you some quick searches based on that target as well. Also, sometimes it's really faint things, supernova remnants. You want to click on them. Those are really hard to tell what they look like, so you can look at AstroPM and see what other people have done taking You can see there's nothing really specific to that SNR. They might have this region covered, so you might have to go that route, or you might even have to jump into Sinbad and take a look at what that target is going to present itself as. So again, the angular size will disappear as you go past 25 degrees. I can see my past projects. I think that's a pretty neat feature. I think the heat map is worth showing, and I think the custom horizon is also worth showing, so you can see exactly your backyard or your location, and you can move throughout the night and see what that looks like as well. So that is our planetarium. We're going to continue to add, I think, catalogs to this and some other little features. This is kind of the step after equipment, is to dive into framing. And then we're going to take a next look in the next video on starting a new project and what that looks like. So follow with us if you're still with us and looking at videos in the series. We will take a look at how the actual projects work from this point on. Thanks.